So the next piece of pulling this apart is to actually get this rubber piece off. Okay, in order to get the rubber piece off, you're going to actually have to take off these two connectors over here. You have one over here and one over here. All right, and before I did that, I actually had to take off the air conditioning duct, and that actually runs the length over here. So, but in the back over here, you'll see that there is a plastic clip. And I'm going to go to actual unit right here, and this is what goes down into the body of the vehicle. So it's going to actually plug in the front right by the dash, and it's just going to plug in like a little puzzle, and then it just pushes down here at the end. Pretty straightforward. You pull that out, just kind of pry up on it, and it comes out. Then when you come in here, you're going to have to disconnect these electrical areas right here, and once you disconnect those, you'll be able to pull this little rubber mat that covers the shifter assembly off. So let's do that. We can do that right now. I had already taken that off. You'll see this piece right here. You're going to actually have to push that in order to release this. You'll see that there's a handle here. So in order to get that handle to push down, you're going to have to push this, and then you slide the handle off and it comes off. Okay, so that comes out, and then you pull it straight out. Okay, it actually comes out. This piece right here, you'll see that red, you'll have to pull that out, and then you actually have to push this piece right here down, and then you pull it straight out. So once that's pulled out, you have the ability to actually pull this whole piece up, and you'll see that it comes out. And that way you'll have access to the panel or the cover. So we're going to do that. We'll just kind of pull that off to the side, and then we'll pull this off, and then we'll get to that panel. So I discovered that in order to get best access to this panel, it's probably better that you don't pull that rubber out, just because that actually goes all the way through towards the dash, and it's probably a little bit more work than it's worth to pull out. But I did disconnect the actual connectors. That way I could push this out of the way. You'll see that I have lifted that up. I have a little bit of a thing there to just kind of wrap it around. No pressure. It's really not heavy at all. You just hang it up, and that way you have full access to this cover. And once you have access to that cover, you could pull everything off, and it should be pretty straightforward from that point on. All right, I'm back, and what I had to do is take that plate off. If you were to take this plate off, you're going to need 6 10mm bolts. They're on all the corners there, so you take those bolts out, and then you'll have a 13mm bolt. You'll see the outline right there. That's a 13mm bolt, and that has to come off, and that basically kind of keeps that shifter in place. So you remove that and put that off to the side, and then you can remove the plate. Okay, YouTubers, I have the cover lifted off. I have the shifter assembly just about out. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through what I did. You'll see that you have some pins right here that hold these two rods in, and they actually, what they do is you take a screwdriver and you kind of pry on them, and you push them down, and they actually slide out of their lock, and then you actually slide the pin out. So you can kind of see here how it's the pin, and then what happens is when you slide it in, it's gonna lock. You see that little tab right there? Well, it locks on the actual square part of the transmission. So you just slide it like that, and you actually push it out. So when you bring it back in, you'll slide it and it will lock. So that's how that works. So when you take this side out, you have to be a little bit more careful. It's because obviously you have a little bit less room on the right side than you do on the left side. See, the left side you have a little bit more room to play with. So when you actually pull it out, just be very careful so you don't drop it. If you drop it, obviously you're going to have to pick it up from the ground, but it shouldn't be that difficult. So once I actually get that pulled out, I actually have the shifter off. Okay, YouTubers, back with the video here. I had put the console back in. We had showed you how to take out the console as I took it out, put it back in basically in the reverse procedure. Can't forget to make sure that you get the plugs. The two major plugs obviously are right in this area right here, the two gray ones right there, and then of course you have this red one right here that's going to connect to the air conditioning system. So when it came to the shifter, okay, we had installed this and used a couple zip ties back there to make sure everything was good. In the Barton shifter, you'll see that you have two CNC machine aluminum pieces there, and you'll see how that we have screwed them down. I had screwed these down just before I actually put the console in. It makes it a whole lot easier than trying to navigate your way through this little opening right here. You just basically screw them down hand tight, and then you can put the console in, and then you just tighten these down for good after you put the console in. That's after you put the shifter in. So some of you guys are like, well, why do you have the shifter in and you don't have the the console top in? Well, that should fit. How you fit it is basically you're going to tilt this this way or this way, and then it will fit through. So that way, you know, you have the space to actually tighten down the shifter. So the shifter is tightened down. The plugs are in. I'll put that center console, and then I could just put the ball on, and it's a pretty much done deal. All right, so if there's any questions, go ahead and call me, or not call me, but leave a message and ask questions. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions in regards to the install. It was pretty easy install. I had started last night, and I came back this morning and decided to finish it. So, great install. Hope you liked it, and watch for my next one. Okay, YouTubers, I have finished the install. The installation is complete of the Barton shifter. I think it looks really good, seeming that my interior is actually black with white piping, and this is just a black shifter with white piping. I think it really matches really well. Barton did a really great job on the shifter. It stands a little tall. I thought it was going to be a little shorter, but as you can see, it's actually just a little bit higher than the stock one, to be honest with you. But I'll tell you what, the shifting is really solid, much better than the stock shifter that I got from Dodge. So, but if you look at the shifter, you notice that there's a slight lean to it. That slight lean is done on purpose because the Barton shifter is adjustable. You could bring it towards you, you could bring it away from you, you could bring it any way you want. So I had brought it towards me just because I kind of like the shifter a little bit closer to me, and I chose that. So seems to be running good. The reverse still works. We got everything working properly. I'm going to go take it for a test spin and see how it works out. Thanks for watching. I'm glad you liked the video. Leave some comments. Bye.